Now students, come to the separation of mixture. Different example and the basic of the type of mixture you have learned. Now come to how to separate them. Students, there you just read it, then you can easily understand. So first you read that why we need to separate a mixture. Okay, mixture is to present individually, so why we need to separate them? Because you know, without separation how we can get the exact thing. Suppose sea water contain lots of salt. So what salt we eat, can you directly take sea water? No, we will extract the salt sodium from the sea water, and from that way we make the table salt. So that's why the separation of mixtures takes place. Suppose students, our lungs used to separate the oxygen from the air. Our lungs can separate, we take only oxygen and release other gas, but air is containing nitrogen, everything, other gas is also there. So everywhere separation is needed. So this is question very important in exam used to come, that why need to remove impurities that are harmful and undesirable. That's why we need to separate the mixture to obtain a useful component. Suppose any component we need from the mixture, so we need to separate that component from that mixture and to obtain a pure sample of a substance. Okay, so principle of separation of mixture, many principle is there, you just read here. Okay, suppose one portion I am reading here. To separate a component from a mixture, the component must have a property that the other component do not have. Understand? Means how you will separate. Suppose if what it has written here, if I give example, you can see, suppose rice and iron. So if we bring magnet here, iron will be attracted, rice is not. So understand, so that other component do not have one property. So iron has that magnetic property, it will attract, but rice doesn't have. That's why we can separate. Otherwise, if one process you are applying with both can dissolve, both can attract it, then how you can separate? So that is the thing, basic thing has written over here. You read, then you can understand. So here after that, such a differentiating property form the basis of separating method. This is general principle of separation of a mixture. Okay, so now just some basic will be given, some principle and example that is important for exam purpose. Remember that sieving is a process. It will depend on the principle size of the component. Okay, sieving, this type of process, when building construction is there, you know, sieving takes place by using that sieve with the sand sieving takes place. বাড়ি তৈরির সময় মিস্ত্রিরা ওই যে বালি চালুনি দেয়, দ্যাট ইজ সিভিং টেকনোলজি। ওকে, সিভিং মেথড বাই দিস ওয়ে মিন্স ডিফারেন্ট সাইজ উইল বি সেপারেট। বড় বালির দানাগুলোকে আলাদা করে দেয়, ছোটো ছোটোগুলোকে নিয়ে বাড়ির কনস্ট্রাকশনে লাগায়। সো দ্যাট ইজ দ্য বেস্ট এক্সাম্পল অফ সিভিং। নাও হ্যান্ড পিকিং ইফ দেয়ার ইজ বিগ কম্পোনেন্ট, দুটো বড় বড় কম্পাউন্ড যদি মিক্সচার হয়ে থাকে তাহলে হাতে সেপারেট করা যায়, দ্যাট ইজ অলসো এ প্রসেস অফ সেপারেশন। বাড়িতেও আমরা অনেক সময় করি, চালের ভেতর থেকে কাঁকড় বাড়িতে সিনিয়র মা বাবারা করে মাঝে মধ্যে, দ্যাট ইজ অলসো এ প্রসেস অফ সেপারেশন। বাট দ্য প্রিন্সিপাল ইউ রাইট টু লাইক দিস ওয়ে, হ্যান্ড পিকিং মিন্স সাইজ অফ দ্য সাইজ, শেপ অ্যান্ড কালার। ওকে, ভিজিবল, দ্যাট উইল বি ভিজিবল অ্যান্ড বিগার। ওকে, now come to winnowing is a very nice process in the presence of air. Okay, so that is also depend on the different weight, that is based on the weight, means lighter will just move away. Okay, this method uses mass as differentiating the properties, means mass, you know, so which will be lighter, that particle will move away, and the which will little bit heavy particle will fall down. So once you remember the principle present over here, the different process, another one is sedimentation, decantation, that is also depend on weight, because sedimentation will take place when more weight particle is there. One kind of suspension, if you remember, chalk particle will just settle down happens as they are heavy than the water molecule, that's why they are settled down. So just remember like this way, these three method, and another page I will teach today, not more. Another here is a froth flotation. It is a you know, it's a principle of preferential weighting of components. Okay, weighting of components, because it will form a froth. Okay, means how that just if you read here you can only understand. It is just remember here it is the differentiating property used in the method of weighting. Okay, the suitable liquid mix with the mixture and compressed air pass through it. Okay, the weight of component that gets weight more মানে যেটা বেশি ভিজে যায় বেশি অ্যাবজর্ব করে নেয় ওই লিকুইডটা ডিউ টু অ্যাবজর্বড লিকুইড দ্য হেভিয়ার কম্পোনেন্ট সেটেল ডাউন হয়ে যায়, বাকি আদারগুলো কি হয়ে যায় হোয়াইল দ্য লাইটার কম্পোনেন্ট ফ্লোটস ট্র্যাপড in the froth over the mixture. Okay, this froth can be easily drained out component by obtaining simple process of drying. I think you understand. Okay, first a liquid substance will mix with them and it will differ. You know the principle is preferential weighting of components. Weighting means ভিজিয়ে আর্দ্রতা ভিজে যাওয়া, কোনো কিছুটা বেশি ভিজে যায় absorb more liquid and some less. By this way this is called froth flotation. When a air used to air pumped into the froth into the tank, heavy gangway will be, they are called gangway. That is also very important. Gangway is the, you can say, impure substance which is settled down, muddy impurities. Okay, what is gangway? Muddy impurities over here. So one method also you read here, the method used for concentration of sulfide ore such as galena PbS, lead sulfide, its formula. Okay, so galena and zinc blend, ZNS zinc blend. Okay, with pine oil and sodium ethyl xanthate. Okay, sodium ethyl xanthate, remember that is a chemical which used to mixed with this ore and separate the gangway. Okay, and water are mixed with pulverized ore in the tank and compressed air pass through the tank. Compressed air form bubbly froth which is rich in ore and pine oil and that will be separated. Okay, the water weight gangway will settle down, pine oil absorbed by the ore and they will oil rich froth will overflow. So that is the method. If you read you understand, and in senior class in metallurgy you will properly understand this method. Thank you. Next class I explain about sublimation.